Good morning and welcome to Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion Lacrosse. Mike Formisano here calling today's action. Quick turnaround for the Pope John Junior Lions 7th and 8th grade squad as they take on the Hackettstown Tigers this morning after having defeated Warren Hills, the Blue Streaks, last night by a final score of 11-5. So the Lions and Tigers meeting here at Morrison Field. All we're missing are the Bears, oh my. And the Lions and Tigers will decide who the big cat is after this game. So let's go ahead and go over the roster for the Lions. They are 3-0 on the season, having defeated Del Barton, Comp Middle School, and now Warren Hills. And they'll look to go 4-0 today as they take on Hackettstown. We'll start with number 2, Aiden Hicks. Number 24 is Andrew Jessamaria. Number 7, Connor Clifford. Number 23, Dante Lamb. Emilio Barrancos, number 33. Evan Wanamaker, number 1. Frankie Spagnola, number 8. Johnny Pippa, number 39. Hayden Marshall, 35. Jack Seegers, number 3. Johnny Kranka, number 21. Justin Perella, number 10. Kellen Nelson, 22. Matt Riley, number 12. Michael Formisano is number 13. 15 is Michael Morelli, the goalkeeper for Pope John. Nick Boyanowski is number 32. Ronnie Ziegler, 42. Ryder Gerval, number 25. Sal Diargo, number 5. Steve Leonard, number 20. Ty Plotz, number 44. Victor Fiore is number 4. And Zachary Cash is number 6. The head coach of the Pope John Junior Lions is Christian Vosa. Coaching staff, Chris Hoffman, Chuck Gervald, and Matt Emmering. And the program coordinator is Beatrice Pippa. So Pope John looking to get a quick start as they did yesterday, scoring 4 seconds in on a goal by Dante Lamb. Some of the offensive highlights, including a backhanded goal by Hayden Marshall, 5 goals by Johnny Kranka, and also a great goaltending by Michael Morelli. So Pope John looking to capitalize on that win yesterday by continuing the momentum in this one against the Tigers from Hackettstown. And we are almost set for opening face-off here at Morrison Field in Hackettstown. It's an overcast Saturday morning, a little different than yesterday. It was nice and cool on a Friday afternoon, or Friday evening, I should say, under the lights. But this Saturday morning, a little overcast, sun trying to break through the clouds, and we'll see if it warms up as the day goes on. Referees at center field right now, meeting with both teams. Pope John will be in their blue uniforms again, trimmed by gold and white. And the Hackettstown Tigers in their white uniforms, trimmed by orange and black. It looks like referees are going through inspection of the uniforms, make sure that players have the mandatory equipment, including mouthpieces and whatnot. Well, the road trip finally ends for Pope John after today's game, as they will go home and host Lenape tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 at Pope John High School. If you're in the area, please join us at the high school in Sparta. If not, we'll stream the game for you at 3:30 tomorrow. It'll be the first home game of the season for Pope John. And then they will have a bit of a break until May 3rd when they will host Del Barton High School. That will be a rematch of the first game of the season where Pope John went to Del Barton and defeated the Green Wave by a count of 13-9. So, all set for opening face-off here at Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey. Pope John Lions and the Hackettstown Tigers. Dante Lamb will take the draw for Pope John. Players will get started. It'll be number 3 for the Tigers, and we will get set on the referee's whistle. Let's do it. And here we go. Dante Lamb takes a face-off, and he rushes up the field, having a little bit of a problem cradling the ball, but finally gets it. Now the shot on goal. He scores! Johnny Kranka continues the offensive assault from yesterday into this morning's game. And just 10 seconds in, Kranka with the goal, assisted by Lamb, and Pope John up to an early 1-0 lead. Now, Lamb knows how to win those faceoffs and start the offensive charge right away. And it's such a boost for Pope John to be able to grab the early 1-0 lead there. We'll see if Lamb can win another face-off and continue the offense. Face-off between him and number 3 for Hackettstown. No names for Hackettstown, so we'll just go by the numbers in the back of the jerseys. We do have a running clock today on Morrison Field, so clock and a scoreboard, and it's operational, which is great. The Warren Hills clock yesterday shorted out after about the first quarter, maybe a little into the second. So, but no problems like that today. So here's Hackettstown. Number 44 drops the stick, and the ball is picked up by number 1, Evan Wanamaker. Pass up to Crangan, now to Ty Plotz, number 44, but the ball goes out of bounds, and Hackettstown will take over. Pope John 3-0 on the season. This is their 4th game. They also had the Riverlax tournaments. Those games, I believe, don't count towards regular season statistics. So they went 2-2 in that Riverlax tournament. Here's Ty Plotz going up the field on the right sideline. Plotz fires. He scores. Ty Plotz with a cannon from about 20 yards out. And he buries it into the back of the net past the Hackettstown goaltender. And it's 2-0 Pope John. Well, Plotz had a goal ripped away from him yesterday as he scored at the end of the first quarter. However, they said it was way after the end of the quarter. And there was no clock on the field because it was shorting out. So the rule in lacrosse is that if the ball's in the air and it's left the cross, if it goes into the back of the net at the 0 mark, it'll still count. But they said the Plotz didn't even get the shot off. So 2-0 Pope John leads today. Here's Lamb with the face-off. He wins this one. Substitutions into the game for Pope John. We'll go over those in just a minute. Here's Kranger. Kranger with the pass in front to Seeger. He scores! Jack Seeger puts it into the top of the net underneath crossbar and pass to Hackettstown goalkeeper. It's 3-0 Pope John. Only 56 seconds into this contest. So as I said, substitutions into the game. Number 25, Ryder Javal, and number 35, Hayden Marshall in for Pope John. 3-0. Only 56 seconds into the game. Pope John looking to win another faceoff now as Lamb is back in the faceoff circle. On the referee's whistle. And here we go. Lamb will just push the ball forward and scoop it up, and now Lamb rushes up the field over to Krager. Krager fires! Just misses the right post by about 6 inches. And the Hackettstown goalkeeper, a little bit of a sigh of relief there. But Pope John will maintain possession as Connor Clifford was closest to the ball. So Clifford will pass it out to Jack Seeger. Seeger, number 3, behind the net. Over to Krager. Krager behind the back and into the back of the net. Johnny Krager with the goal. And it's 4-0 Pope John. The goal comes at the minute 13 mark of the first quarter. So Pope John with an offensive explosion to start this game. And they're up 4-0. We're coming to you live from Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey, home of the Tigers, as they trail the Lions 4-0. So Kellen Nelson will go into the faceoff circle and take the draw now for the Lions. As the whistle starting the clock, Nelson moves forward with it and scoops it up. And Kellen will take it up the right side. Nelson looks to pass off to number 7, Connor Clifford. Clifford over to Seeger behind the net. Jack Seeger turning the page and running back behind the right side of the post. Now over to Johnny Kranga. Kranga up top to Justin Perella. Perella missed yesterday's game. He's back today. Perella with a bunch of goals in the Riverlax tournament. Marshall in on the goalkeeper, but the Hackettstown netminder is able to take the ball away and pass it up the field, but it goes out of bounds, and so Pope John will take over possession. 4-0, the Lions lead over the Tigers. 8:06 to go, first quarter. We're just underway, but the Lions have exploded for 4 goals already. Here's Clifford, back to Seeger. Jack Seeger behind the net. Seager will roll out to the near sideline. Pope John in their blue uniforms, trimmed by gold and white. The shot by Kranga. He scores. Johnny Kranga, goal number 2 for him on the day. And the Lions up 5-0. As I was saying, the Lions in their blues, trimmed by gold and white, going right to left. Hackettstown in their whites, trimmed by orange and black. They're going left to right. Well, Nelson will take the face off again. Gervald on his right wing at midfield, along with Hayden Marshall on the left. On defense for Pope John, you got Matt Riley, number 12. We'll go through the defense in just a second. Evan Wanamaker back there as well. Here's Nelson up the field. Nelson with the shot. And he scores. Kellen Nelson buries it into the bottom of the net, past the goalkeeper. And Pope John's up by a half dozen, 6-0. 7:33 remaining in the opening quarter. As I was saying, for the defense for Pope John, you've got Evan Wanamaker out there along with Matt Riley. And you also have number 32, Nick Bojanowski. Up front for Pope John right now, Connor Clifford, Jack Seager, and also Steve Leonard, number 20. I mentioned Gervald and Marshall and Kellen Nelson. And actually, it's Frank Spagnola taking this face-off at center field. Spagnola will go up against number 3 for the Tigers, as it is already 6-0, just 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the game. Waiting on the referee whistle. And there we go. Hackettstown trying to get to the ball that's on the turf. It's still on the turf, pushed forward by Spagnola, so we'll see who scoops it up. It's Marshall. Hayden Marshall will take it. We got a whistle on the play. And it looks like it's going to go against Pope John, so it'll be Hackettstown ball. A ton of whistles yesterday in the fourth quarter, mostly against Warren Hills. Really slowed up that second half yesterday, so we'll hope we don't see a repeat of that today. That was Warren Hills going ahead and hacking away at Pope John, many different opportunities. A fair share of penalties against Pope John as well, however. It did seem like Warren Hills was taking the brunt of the infractions, so in every 10, 15 seconds you'd hear a referee whistle and a stoppage in play, and so game took over an hour and a half yesterday to finish, so we'll see what happens today between Hackettstown and Pope John. Not a lot of whistles so far. Really, the only whistles were for stoppage after goals, with Pope John leading by 6. Here's number 1 for Hackettstown, finally getting some offensive momentum going in Pope John's territory. Here's number 27 for the Tigers. Passes it off to number 1. One will pass it into the corner to number 44. Wanamaker defended that. Evan Wanamaker, number 1 with the long pole and the golden helmet. Number 44 loses it, drops out of his cross, and Wanamaker scoops it up. He'll pass it up the field to Clifford, just over his stick, but Jack Seager takes it. Here's Seager running into the middle of the field. Seager with the shot. Just goes wide of the left post, and the ball bounces towards the sidelines and out of bounds. So, Pope John will take over. Here is Clifford over to Seager. Seager behind the net. He's got Marshall, also Gervald in front. Seager will pass it off to Clifford. Connor Clifford with it now. Clifford will roll to his right, down to the middle of the field, up to Gervald. Ryder Gervald, number 25 on the right side. Gervald running past Leonard. Pass back to Seager behind the net. Seager now closest to the left post. Over to Clifford. Clifford to Leonard. Steve Leonard behind the back. 180 degrees. Turns around. Loses possession. It's picked up by Marshall. Hayden Marshall has it now behind Hackettstown net. Marshall decides to pass it up to Seager. Seager with the shot. Saved by the Hackettstown netminder. And he'll stop it in the crease, pick it up. Pass it out to number 5, and it's intercepted by Seeger. Seeger comes in the shot. Saved by number 29 for Hackettstown. Good second chance opportunity for Pope John, and an even better save by the Hackettstown goalie. Now the ball on the right side to the far side of us. Ball comes toward midfield. Marshall will get it before it hits the mid-stripe. Keeps it on the Hackettstown side of the field. Here's Marshall over to Clifford. Clifford in the middle of the field. He hit as he tries to get a shot off. Now he does. And it's a save by number 29 for Hackettstown. It's still loose right in front of the crease. Clifford picks it up, but he fails on the shot. And it's scooped up by number 1 for Hackettstown, who runs up the near sideline. Looking to make sure he doesn't step out of bounds. There's Seeger. Seeger knocks into him. The ball goes out, and the ball will take over with Pope John with possession. Seeger has it now, number 3. Seeger passes it to Marshall. Marshall tried to go backhand again, and the ball was knocked out of the cross. And so now it's scooped up by Michael Formisano. Formisano, number 13, first action of the day, passes it over to Steve Leonard. Leonard fans on the pass over to Gervald, and Hackettstown will take over. There's number 27 for the Tigers. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Pope John with a 6-0 lead. Tigers back into Pope John territory now. Here's number 44 running towards the middle of the field. Number 24, Andrew Jessamaria, all over him. Marshall tried to scoop it up, and now it goes over to Jessamaria, who takes possession. Gives it to Marshall on a bounce. Marshall running up the field in the middle. He's flanked by Clifford to the left. Pass over to Clifford, just out of his reach. Runs after it, is able to scoop it up before it goes out of bounds. Number 5 for the Tigers after him. Here's Clifford. Passes to Formisano up top. Michael Formisano will set the offense. Gives it over to Clifford. Connor Clifford with it on the left side. Clifford back to Formisano. Formisano pass over to the right to Gervald. Right to Gervald, number 25 on the right side. Starts to penetrate in. Gervald turns around, 180. The shot goes wide to the left post and rolls out of bounds and doesn't go to the back line. So I believe it's going to be not Pope John possession. So the Lions will hold on to possession here. Lions versus the Tigers here in Morrison Field. We're just missing some Bears. 6-0, Pope John leads. Here is Seeger. I know my wife is home and saying, oh, a corny joke. Stop. It's right out there. I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't reference it. Here's Gervald. Over to Leonard. Leonard to the right. Now to Seeger behind the net. 6-0, Pope John leads. About 3 minutes to go, first quarter. We are broadcasting live from Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey. Marshall in front. The shot. He scores. Marshall's able to put it to the left side of the net past the Hackettstown goalkeeper. And it's 7th heaven for Pope John. 7-0. The Lions lead. 2:25 remaining, first quarter. So Marshall scores in consecutive games. And the Lions now up by 7. Substitutions for both teams. Spagnola will take the face-off at midfield. So with it being 7-0, I believe the referee is discussing on whether or not we're going to have the face-off or we just give Hackettstown the possession to start, and that's what they're going to do. With it being 7-0, you don't have to have a face-off between both teams. Hackettstown can take the ball out after the goal. So that's what they're going to do here, and the Tigers will start the offense. Here's number 8. Running up the middle of the field, slightly to the left now, over to number 13 for the Tigers. Being defended by Marshall and Spagnola. Spagnola drops off to defend the wing. 13 coming in on Marshall. Well, number 13 walking it up the field now. Looking for someone to pass it to. Finally finds one. That's number 27 for the Tigers. He's chased by Zachary Cash. 27 will roll back behind the net. Now turns around. Over to 44. bounces off his cross, scoops it up, picks it up to 13. 13 on the right side. Looking to break in past Marshall. Can't do so, so he'll back away. 13 will pass it up to 27 on the right wing. Cash on him. He's able to push him back towards the midline, and you saw Jack Seeger try to reach over to get a stick on that. The rule is you're an attacking forward for your team. You have to stay on the other side of the center line. You can reach over, but you can't. Your feet can't be over the line. So that's what Seeger was trying to do. Morelli scoops that up, and he'll take it out of his net and run it upfield, and he loses possession. The ball's on the turf with an empty net, and Hackettstown looking for that empty net, not able to settle the ball down, and so number 8 finally able to scoop it up as Morelli's able to get back behind the net. Ball in front of 34, and it will go over now to Emilio Barranco, number 33. Take possession. No, it'll actually be Cash. Zachary Cash will run it field for Pope John with 28 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Hackettstown will take over now, and they got a break. Running up the middle of the field is number 13 for the Tigers. Looking to get a shot off. He does, and it's wide. Morelli may have gotten a piece of it. Number 14 for Hackettstown is close to the ball, so they'll maintain possession. 13.8 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Pope John holding a 7-0 lead. Clock running. Pass over to number 27 for the Tigers. Can't control it. It goes over to Jesse Maria. And that's it for the first quarter. So, Pope John explodes for 7 goals in this opening stanza. And at the end of one, it is 7-0. The Lions over the Tigers of Hackettstown. We'll be back with second quarter action from Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey, right after this. Back to Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion Lacrosse. Mike Formasano here, calling this morning's action on an overcast but cool, crisp morning here on Saturday in late April. The Pope John Lions exploding for 7 goals in that first quarter, and they lead 7-0. No football jokes about the touchdown and extra point. Even though we're on the football field, nice turf field here at Morrison Field. It is lacrosse, and so the Lions looking to go 4-0 on the season. They've already defeated Del Barton, Kumpf Middle School, and now last night Warren Hill. As we get started for second quarter play, here's the face-off. Spagnola looks to win it. Ball still on the turf. It's scooped up by number 13 for Hackettstown, who now travel right to left on your screen. In their whites, trimmed by orange. 13 comes in the shot on goal. Save Morelli. Michael Morelli getting the stick down and blocking that shot by number 13. Now Hackettstown trying to get the ball back from Barranco. Wipe away the stick. Barranco with the long pole running up the field across the midline and into Hackettstown territory. And we got to play against Hackettstown. It's delayed. Ball's knocked loose, and when Hackettstown touches it, they'll have a not yet. Scooped up by Seeger. Jack Seeger now. On the far side of the field, pass it off to Clifford. Connor Clifford, number 7 for the Lions. Marshall up top. Hayden Marshall with a goal already. He gives it over to Spagnola. Spagnola looking to get it in. Pass to Leonard. Steve Leonard with it. Leonard to Seeger behind the net. Seeger passes Clifford just out of his reach. Now Zach Cash has it. Scooped it up. He's got 13 on him. Flag still on the field as Hackettstown hasn't touched the ball in the past 45 seconds or so. Clifford with the shot. Saved by the Tiger goalkeeper. And so now he got a whistle. Flashing against Hackettstown. 1 minute penalty. And Pope John will go a man up. 8:35 to go. Second quarter. 7-0. Pope John in the lead. Formasano comes in for Seeger. Again, please join us tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 from Pope John High School. The home opener for the Lions 7th and 8th grade squad as they'll take on Lenape. And if you can't make it out there, we'll be streaming the game for you. Here's Spagnola up top. So he'll start the power play for the Lions on the referee's whistle. Spagnola, Cash, Clifford, Formasano, Marshall, and Leonard on offense right now. Personnel issue is Hackettstown needing 5 players out instead of 6. Is there on a penalty kill? I think we're good now. And we'll start it up. Here's Spagnola. Spagnola with pass to the left, way over the head of Connor Clifford. And so the ball goes out of bounds, and Hackettstown will take over. So the Pope John power play for right now is short-circuited, but still plenty of time on it. Here the Tigers, they'll just fling it downfield over the reach of 39, Johnny Pippa. And there's Emilio Barranco, number 33, trying to scoop it up. It's taken over by 13 for Hackettstown. Coming in on net. Shot on goal. Goes wide of the cage and towards the sideline. And Jessa Maria scoops it up for Pope John. Andrew Jessa Maria races around one defender, now another. Coming up the middle of the field, past the center line, and into Hackettstown territory. It belted out of his hand, and he loses the stick as well. And so the Tigers, now Marshall's able to knock it loose, and he takes over possession. Good play by Marshall as he comes to the middle of the field. The pass over to Leonard, just out of his reach. Leonard trying to scoop it up, and he is shoved down twice by the Tigers. The first one was not too aggressive, and then the second one definitely was. So a whistle blown on that, and so Pope John will take possession. Well, we start up play. There's Marshall on the right side. 7:34 to go in the first half. 7-0. Pope John leads over Hackettstown. There's Cash over to Justin Perella. Perella seeing some action now. The ball goes over to Clifford. Clifford, number 7, on the left side, running in over to Perella. Now back behind the net to Seeger. No, Formasano. Formasano in the game. That's right, for Seeger. So pass over to Leonard. Leonard gives it back to Formasano right behind the cage. Formasano in front to Marshall. Knocked loose by Hackettstown. Marshall trying to scoop it up. And now it's taken by Leonard. Leonard trying to sweep it out of the way and pick it up in the same motion. Not able to do so. Hackettstown had it briefly. Here's Leonard still fighting for it. Tenacity by Steve Leonard to get the ball, and he does. Good job by him. Now to Formasano on the right side. Rolls over to the left. Pass to Perella is intercepted by Hackettstown. The ball's on the turf now. They're trying to scoop it up, and Formasano back into play is able to get it. And Perella finally picks it up. Justin Perella over to Clifford. Clifford will pass it back up to Cash. Zach Cash. Pass over to the left side. Over to Perella. Perella with it. Now back behind to Formasano. Formersano looking at his wings and is able to get into the center to Hayden Marshall. And Marshall's able to put that in the back of the net. It never came into the cross. He just basically used it like a broom and just swept it into the net. So the goal by Marshall, assisted by Formersano. And 8-0, Pope John leads. 5:59 to go, first half. Great goal by Marshall there. Taking that pass by Formersano from behind and just didn't even take it into the netting of his lacrosse stick. He was able to sweep it in, almost like a broom. And he buried it past the goalkeeper of Hackettstown. And so now 8-0, Pope John leads. A dominating first half by the Lions. Here's Hackettstown, number 1 with it on the right side. Over to 27 for the Tigers. Behind the net it goes. Pass up to number 8. Johnny Pippa all over him. Number 8 on the left side. A pass over to 27 behind the net. Now to the right. 44 has it for Hackettstown. Pass back up top to number 34, but it's out of his reach. And as it approaches the center line, the ball just dies. So Gerval trying to get it up. And number 34 for Hackettstown is able to scoop the ball away. Goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Pope John possession. Spagnola, number 8, will start the charge for the Lions. 5:06 to go, second quarter. Pope John leads 8-0. Couple of number 8s there. Number 8 for Hackettstown and Spagnola, number 8 for Pope John. Trying to get around Spagnola. He finally does. But he's in a sea of Lions there. He passes it off to 27. The shot on goal. Saved by Borelli as he continues the shutout. Borelli with the save, and he passes up the field to Perella. Perella having problems scooping it up. He finally does. On the far sideline, he crosses midfield. Pass over to Clifford, just out of his reach. It goes over to Hackettstown. Ball still on the turf. You know, the ball goes ahead and lands in the turf, and with the lacrosse stick, it's tough to scoop it up. So that's why it's not always as fluid as maybe you'd expect in, like, say, hockey, or if you're playing soccer and you're able to accept the pass, or even with your hands in basketball or something like that. With a lacrosse stick, trying to pick that ball up from the turf. It's not always an easy proposition. His pass by Formersano over to Clifford. Clifford has it on the left side. Clifford with the other golden helmet for Pope John. Ball goes towards the sideline. We'll see if it rolls out of bounds. No, it stays in. Leonard has got number 21 on him from Hackettstown. And so he's able to push the ball over to Formersano, who will lead the assault on the net. From behind, he comes around towards the right post. Pass in front to Perella. Perella has it, the shot. He scores! Justin Perella is able to put it in the back of the net. Past the goalkeeper for Hackettstown. Assisted again by Michael Formersano. And it's 9-0 now. Pope John leads over Hackettstown. Well, Formersano on those past 2 goals able to generate some offense there from behind the net, passing it right in front. The 1 goal by Marshall and now by Perella. And so Pope John takes a 9-0 lead. 3:39 to go, second quarter. Hackettstown leads the charge. Pass across to number 27 on the left post, being defended by Bronco. Now back out to number 34. It's out of his reach, and there's Perella. Justin Perella will lead it up the field. He's got Leonard with him along with Formersano. Perella turns around, gives it to Clifford on the left. Clifford to Formersano, right on the left post. Just behind the net, the pass in front, knocked down by Tigers number 16. Hackettstown takes possession, but it's knocked out of his stick by Clifford. Ball's on the turf, scooped up by Formersano. Formersano with the pass over to Cash. Zachary Cash over to Gerval. Ryder Gerval now, number 25 for the Pope John Lions. He turns around, does a 180, down to Formersano behind. Formersano looks to pass it back out. He does. But the pass is on the turf past Clifford. Connor Clifford back to scoop it up. He'll take it away. Goes up through the middle of the field. Clifford coming in. The shot on goal. Saved by the Hackettstown netminder. It's loose. Pope John trying to get that. That's Steve Leonard, and he kicks at it. The ball's still on the turf there. Gerval in the scrum. Low cash, and Gervald comes out with it, and the shot on goal. Save. No, it goes wide and towards the sideline. We'll have a stoppage of play, 2:09 to go, and the ball will remain in Pope John possession. Formersano will lead it up from the left side. Pass over to Clifford. Clifford gives it back to number 10, Perella. Perella charging in. The shot saved by the Hackettstown netminder. Keeps the score 9-0, and the pass out. Ball's on the turf. Pope John trying to steal it away. There is Leonard. Leonard, number 20. And you got Perella on it. Justin Perella on the right side. He'll pass it back to Cash. Gervald got a piece of that. So Zach Cash leads it in. Pass over on the left side to Clifford. Clifford to Leonard. Leonard on the left side. Ball's knocked loose. Trying to recover it. And the long pole from Hackettstown takes over. Interception, however, by Perella, right to him. It's almost like he was passing it to Perella. I'm sure he wasn't, but it went right to him. Here's Clifford with 1:04 to go in the first half. Pass back to Gervald on the far sideline. He scoops it up. Run it back towards the middle of the field. Penetrating in at about the 25-yard line. Running towards the net. Pass behind. He goes past Formersano, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to be Hackettstown ball. 47.6 to go. Oh, they say it was deflected? Yeah, they're saying it was deflected, so it's going to be Pope John ball. So, no, they did change it. White ball. They're saying white ball, Hackettstown. So 16 will start for Hackettstown behind their own net. 47.6 to go here, first half. 16 will pass it down the field all the way into Pope John territory. The ball's loose. 27 in on it for the Tigers, and he takes it away. That midfield, he collides into his own offensive player, number 14. The ball goes over to number 1 for the Tigers. He'll run towards the right sideline on the far side. Perella all over him. Pass to number 8 for Hackettstown. Does a 360. Turns back around towards the middle of the field. Perella with relentless defense. Ball's passed over to number 27 for the Tigers on left post. Goes behind the net. And it's intercepted by Gervald, and he gives it to Morelli, and Morelli will reset the offense. And there is the horn for the end of the first half. So, not as many goals in the second quarter from Pope John, but they'll take it. They had a couple, one by Marshall and one by Perella. And at the end of the first half, it's 9-0 Pope John over Hackettstown. We'll be back after halftime for second half action here from Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey. We're at the half, 9-0 Pope John leads over Hackettstown. Welcome back to Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion Lacrosse. Mike Formasano here, calling today's action. Thanks for joining us on this overcast Saturday afternoon in late April, or Saturday morning, I should say. It's still early, so it's about, 10 o'clock now? 9:45? 9:35. Close enough. Pope John with an explosive first half, 7 goals right out of the gate in the first quarter, and then 2 more to add on for good measure in the second. So now they'll head into the second half with a 9-0 lead, looking to up their record to 4-0. Let's go back over the roster for Pope John before we get started here in the second half. We'll start with Aiden Hicks, number 2. 24 is Andrew Jessamaria. Connor Clifford, number 7. Dante Lamb, number 23. Emilio Bronco is number 33. Evan Wanamaker, number 1. Frankie Spagnola, number 8. Johnny Pippa is 39. 35 is Hayden Marshall. 3 is Jack Seeger. 21, Johnny Kranka. Justin Perrell is number 10. Kellen Nelson, 22. Matt Riley, number 12. Michael Formasano, number 13. Michael Morelli, the goalkeeper for Pope John, number 15. Nick Boydowski, number 32. Ronnie Ziegler, number 42. Ryder Gerval, number 25. Sal Diargo, number 5. Number 20 is Steve Leonard. Ty Plotz, number 44. Victor Fiore, number 4. Zachary Cash is number 6. The head coach of the Pope John Junior Lions is Christian Vosa. Coaching staff, Chris Hoffman, Chuck Gervald, and Matt Emmering. And the program coordinator is Beatrice Pippa. Pope John now going right to left as we start the second half. It'll be Hayden Marshall taking the face-off now, with Gervald on his right and Perrella on his left. Pope John in their blue uniforms, trimmed by gold and white, going right to left. Hackettstown, the Tigers in their home whites, trimmed by orange and black. They're going left to right. 9-0 Pope John as we start the third quarter. Pope John looking to go 4-0 on this season before they go home for their opener tomorrow against Lenape at 3:30 from Pope John High School in Sparta. Here's the face-off to start third quarter. On the referee's whistle. And here we go. Marshall trying to scoop it up. He gains position, and he does take the ball away. So, number 13 for Hackettstown all over him, though. Now to pass over to Perrella. Perrella on the left side. Pass to Clifford. Clifford on the left. Now back to Perrella. Perrella trying to get around the fence. Number 3, right on top of him. It's intercepted to number 8 for Hackettstown. He telegraphed that and was able to go ahead and pick up the pass. Loses it over to Bronco, but the ball's still on the turf, so 44 with an opportunity to pick it up. And he can't do so. Bronco takes it away. Emilio Bronco with the pass intercepted by 13 for Hackettstown. Goes back behind the net. Tigers look to settle it down as number 14 over to 34 for Hackettstown. Jessa Maria in there, number 24 for Pope John, trying to take it away. Ball still on the turf. Probs trying to scoop it up, and Hackettstown comes away with it. Number 34 for the Tigers on the left side, now rolling back to the middle of the field. We got a flag on the play against Pope John on a delay. So 34 will roll back to the right now. Perrella on him, and when Pope John will touch it, they'll have a whistle against them for an infraction. There's number 44 for Hackettstown. Bronco trying to scoop it up. Ball still on the turf, and as Bronco picks it up, there's the whistle. 1 minute penalty against Pope John. So, 8:26 to go, just underway in the third quarter. 9-0 Pope John over Hackettstown. Morelli's still pitching a shutout for the Lions. I can say it, you can't. Reason why, we don't want to jinx them. But if I don't tell you, then you'll never know. So I have to say it. We obviously don't want to jinx Michael, so we'll stay quiet for a little while on it. But yes, 9-0 Pope John over Hackettstown. Here's number 8. Back up top to 13. Being defended by Spagnola. Number 8 for Pope John. And also Johnny Peppa, number 39. Defense has played real well today. Very strong in front of Morelli. But again, Morelli with some big saves too for Pope John. So a workman's effort by the Lions to keep Hackettstown off the board to this point. Here's number 34 with it on the left side. I know, I'm still talking about it. I'll shut up. 7:47 to go, third quarter. Here's Spagnola on 34 on the right side. Now the pass comes into number 44 for the Tigers. Back behind, setting up the offense, looking for a way to get in close towards the cage. 44 with it now, over to 14 for Hackettstown. Both of them behind the net. 44 will take the pass, and Bronco knocks it down. Good play by Emilio. And he gets it up to Pippa. Pippa not able to handle the pass, unfortunately, and so Hackettstown jumping on the ball. Number 8 has it. He'll take it away. Hackettstown forced to reset the offense, however, and we got Zach Cash coming in on a substitution, is able to knock the ball away, and it goes over to Hayden Marshall, and Pope John leads the charge up the field. Good offensive play there by Cash to be able to knock that ball loose and get the offense started for Pope John. Here's Marshall coming in the middle of the field, backhands it over to Clifford. Connor Clifford with it now on the left. Clifford passes it back up top to Cash. Zach will give it over to Connor. Connor Clifford, number 7. Back to Cash. There's Gervald on the right. He's got Marshall below. He's got Leonard and also Formisano out there. Pass goes to Formisano behind the net. He'll reset the offense. Tried to underhand it. And we got a whistle. Ball's on the turf. I think it's going to be against Formisano. And it'll be Hackettstown ball. So the Tigers will take over. Number 16 rolls over to the far side past Formisano, now rolling out past Leonard as the Tigers lead the charge up the field. Ball's loose, and it's pushed up the field where Gervald is able to jump on it. Jesse Maria defends that against 16 for the Tigers. Now the pass goes behind to 14. 14 with it for Hackettstown. Over to 44 on the right. Back to 14. Behind the net. 5:35 to go. Third quarter. 9-0. Pope John over Hackettstown. Mike Formisano calling today's action. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday morning here in late April from Morrison Field in Hackettstown, New Jersey. There's number 34 with it. Shot on goal. He scores. And so 34 breaks the shutout. And, I shouldn't have been talking about it, so my apologies. Ball bounces off the turf and goes into the middle of the net behind Morelli. And so Hackettstown gets on the board at the 4:46 mark of the third quarter. 5:14 remaining. 9-1 now. Hackettstown breaks the shutout. And with the Tigers down by 8 still, they will start with possession. That's one of those odd rules of lacrosse. Well, if you follow lacrosse your whole life, it's not odd. It's only odd if you haven't been watching it. Hackettstown starts with the ball. Down by 8. And it goes over to number 1 for the Tigers. Go back behind. Pass out to number 13 for Hackettstown. Now over to 27. Back to 13. Over to 34. The goal scorer for the Tigers so far in this one. We got a whistle, and it's going to be an infraction against Pope John as Gervald over 34 there. So delayed penalty against the Lions. 4:25 to go. Number 27 up the field. Over to 13. Bronco defending him. 13 rolls around and gives it to 23 behind. That's actually number 27 for Hackettstown. Ball off the cross of number 13. Jesse Maria fighting for it. Jesse Maria, and they're trying to scoop the ball up. Then it's Hackettstown who comes away with it. There's number 13 running towards the middle. Knocked out of his cross, and ball's on the turf. 14 takes it away for the Tigers. On the left side, Spagnola defending him. Over to 27, back to 13. Takes a shot. It's deflected down, and the ball's on the turf. We got a whistle. Flag down on the play. No, Javald with a penalty. 1 minute. And Pope John will go down again. 9-1, the Lions, however, with 3:33 to go in the third quarter. Threes abound. Pope John at 3-0 on the season. Looking to go 4-0. They're well on their way, up by 8. So number 13 starting the offense for Hackettstown. Ball's knocked loose by Spagnola. On the turf now. He scoops it up, but 13 takes it away, and the shot on goal just goes wide to the left post. Good positioning. Borelli holding tight there. Sure that 13 had as little of an angle as possible, and he pushed it just left of the post. So Hackettstown retains possession, however, as they're closest to the ball, going out of bounds on the shot. Here's 34 with it. Shot into Morelli. It's knocked down and to the left, and so 14 will pick it up for Hackettstown. Tigers in the Pope John territory a lot in this third quarter as the pace has slowed down considerably. Pope John pouring it on in the first quarter, and they've slowed down a bit. Here's Spagnola all over 34. Now number 1 has it for Hackettstown. You know, you jump up to a 9-0 lead. You just want to preserve it. Want to make sure that, you don't run up the score, obviously. And at the same time, you get as much action for your entire team as possible. And that's what Coach Vos is doing. So 9-1. Pope John leads with 2:28 to go here in the third quarter. Many of the players who are not on the opening lineup, so it's good to see a full team effort and good for the opportunity to be able to do so. So